Hello, welcome back. I am at my favorite decade. Today's episode is 1980. This is the beginning of my favorite decade in horror. I it's close. I have a couple other decades that I think are pretty top notch, but it's pretty close. But 80s I would have to say is my favorite decade. There is so many freaking movies to choose from for each year. It's nuts. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into her here and show you my five that I actually chose from 1980. I have a lot to choose from for that year. So this is my first five. Uh, yeah, anybody that knows little something about the history of horror knows that like once you hit 1980, it like just doubles in the amount of freaking movies that are pumped out each year. It's crazy. So I went through my collection, pulled out everything I had from 1980, and chose these five for the first episode. And the first one here, this is from Raro Video. Uh, this is directed by Umberto Lenzi. It's called Nightmare City. I chose this one because it was a first time watch for me. I had never seen it, and I just bought it a few weeks ago. So I was like, yeah, I'll choose that. There's artwork on the inside. That's the reversible. I already switched it over. Both really good. Comes with a little booklet too. This version that tells you a little something about the movie. This is Italian, obviously, for anybody that hasn't seen it. This could be classified as a zombie movie, is what it would be. But it has a lot of uniqueness and twists and turns in the plot and stuff. I'll give you a quick synopsis here. It says Umberto Lenzi's zombie shocker Nightmare City stars actor Hugo Stiglitz as a reporter caught in a living, breathing zombie hell. When an airplane comes into contact with radiation from a nuclear disaster, it causes the passengers to mutate into scabby-faced humanoids with a compulsion to kill and drink the blood of their victims. As the zombies move into the city and beyond, will anyone or anything be able to stop the wave of bloody death and disease that threatens to decimate mankind? Filled with non-stop violence, gory special effects, and pulse-pounding music, and featuring supporting performances from Laurie Trouter, Francisco Rabel, and Mel Ferrer, Raro is proud to present this oddball gem of Italian splatter, completely remastered and uncut. Yeah, so it's just a zombie apocalypse with some story twists, lots of fast-paced action scenes, lots of insanity, lots of brutal gore, like the Italians always do. Um, I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. I was hoping to like it more than I did, but it's still like absolutely worthy of a watch and worthy to be added into your collection because it's just so unique. It's different. I just it's hard for some of these movies when it's like your first time watch because I just find that it takes a couple watches with movies in order to like start developing whether you like it a lot or stuff like that, right? It's hard, but yeah, 2.5 out of 5. Absolute must add to your collection. Nightmare City, cool storyline, awesome special effects. Next up here at number 4, this one bumps up to a 3 for me. This is from Kino Lorber. This is New Year's Evil. We're starting to see the post-Halloween effect here with movies that are... This one has a slip, too, with movies that are themed after holidays. Here's the reversible. That's the original artwork there. This is like the second or third time I've seen this one. Pretty cool stuff here. This, um, what? How can I describe it without ruining anything? So, you know who the killer is throughout this. This is a slasher with slasher slash musical. It's not like a musical, but it's almost like a 80s music video as well at some spots. Um, just feels super 80s and kills awesome kills throughout the thing. Has a pretty damn good story, I think. It's not like awesome or nothing. Like we're talking lower tier slasher movies, but like this is a 3 out of 5 for me. I'll give you the quick synopsis here. It says, on a totally punked out New Year's Eve, TV hostess Diane Blaze Sullivan counts down the hours to midnight, but as her show progresses, every hour on the hour, a savage maniac slashes up a new female victim. As the trail of mutilated bodies spreads throughout the city, it becomes apparent that the psychopath's ultimate target is Blaze herself. Desperate to stop the bloody rampage, the police frantically seal off the ongoing televised festivities, but the killer is quicker than they expected, and he's also the last one anyone suspects. So join the holiday season's deadliest celebration with a New Year's resolution to stay alive. And then it just gives you all the people that are in it. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I enjoyed this a lot. 3 out of 5. Like I said, the music is catchy as fuck because it's a New Year's Eve celebration. So there's like a band playing. She's the hostess at this like party, and the music stayed in my head for a while after I finished it. And I think the acting's really well done. Like I was expecting just like super cheeseball, right? Like just terrible cheese acting. And it actually was pretty solid. It kind of shocked me at how good a couple of the characters are. So yeah, New Year's Evil. Like I said, I picked a couple movies here that I hadn't seen in a while or have never seen at all, like Nightmare City. Just because I wanted to watch those ones. Obviously, there's some higher tier 1980 movies, but if I do a second round of this, I will bring out some of the other beasts for round 2. But with that said, my top 3 here are the super beasts. Starting out at number 3, this is from Scream Factory. This is The Fog on 4K. The 4K Steelbook here. Just beautiful, this 4K Steelbook. And the picture quality. Absolutely top-notch shit here. It comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray. This is a movie that grows on me every single time I watch it. I like it a little more. This time I gave it a 4 to 4.5. Just gets better and better with every watch for me. I just love the ghost story that's going on here, and I won't spoil anything. Tom Atkins is fucking phenomenal. I love his acting. Jamie Lee Curtis is back here. This is directed by John Carpenter as well. And like everything's just done so well. And like the fog, every time it's rolling in and stuff, just seeing how much work went into making it. You can just see it. You can feel it. I love the look of the freaking ghosts. They're in the spirits. They're just top notch. The kills are bloody. Well done. Fun. Acting is top notch. It feels like religious horror mixed with that like small town horror, which is one of my favorite genres. Just I love small town horror. I think it's great. But this is an absolute must have in your collection. Like, obviously, you don't have to spend the money and get the 4K Steelbook, but it's worth it. Like, this thing has all kinds of details on it. It's really freaking nice. And, but, this is also available for more reasonable prices on Blu-ray and stuff. And it looks awesome no matter how you watch this movie. It's one of those movies where, yes, it looks just beautiful on 4K, but it doesn't really need to look beautiful. It feels like one of those movies that in its original format, like just a Blu-ray is probably good enough for your average person. But yeah, that's a 4 to 4.5. My next one here is a 4.5. This one I pulled out of my Scream Factory Friday the 13th box set. This is the original Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. From 1980, obviously. This comes with the uncut version and the theatrical. The uncut only adds like a couple of minutes, I think. What was it exactly? I can't remember. Can't remember how much exact time it adds. But obviously, like, who's gonna watch the theatrical over the uncut? Doesn't even make sense. But I'm glad they give you both. Just classic shit here. This is like the dawn of the fucking just onslaught of slashers to come. I know a lot of people say it's Halloween, which it is, but this is just the dawn of the just like major slashers. Like, everybody's copying this. They're not really copying Halloween. Like, Halloween's a movie of its own. Doesn't need to be copied. This is what everybody's copying. And I just love the original Friday 13th. I don't think it gets enough praise. Like, everybody always talks about the rest of the franchise, which is awesome too. This is my favorite horror movie franchise of all time, probably. And I find this original to just be the most like the most thought went into it. Like, it actually has a storyline, and it has the mother, and like, it isn't just fun. It's deeper. But yeah, don't need to talk much about this. I mean, who hasn't seen Friday the 13th? If you haven't, obviously, you have to watch it. This is an absolute. And the Scream Factory box set, honestly, I will never buy another copy of this movie. It came out on 4K. Didn't upgrade. This doesn't need a 4K. This Blu-ray looks perfect to me. Like, it probably looks a little better on 4K, but I mean, does it need to? Like, this movie doesn't really need 4K treatments. And that Blu-ray box set that Scream Factory put out, that's the end-all be-all as a collector. Thing is just perfect. It's one of the best. It's the best box set Scream Factory's ever put out, for sure. And just a prized possession in every collector's collection. And then we have the big dog. I'll just throw her up here. It's The Shining. This is on 4K. It comes with the Blu-ray too, right? Or is it just the 4K? Yeah, the Blu-ray as well. The Shining. 5 for me. I know this is a hit and miss movie with some people. Like, I know some people where it's just like, well, here's the thing. I know most people are like, this is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. But I do know a few people that are like, it's not for me. And I guess I can understand that. It is like a slow burn. But man, this is one of the best atmospheres in, like, I would say, like, this is one of the best locations and atmospheres in movie history. I absolutely love the Overlook Hotel setting. I just every time like he's walking around in the place, and it's just one of those movies where I'm just looking at details. Like I just love the detail of just being isolated in a hotel. I'm gonna have a smoke too on this one. And wish I had a nice glass of whiskey. I'd actually like do the Jack Nicholson from the one scene in the at the bar. Um, just uh, like, how do you talk about The Shining and not just rinse and repeat everything that's been said by everybody on every single channel that's ever existed in every documentary? But the things I'll just give a couple of things I love the most then, which is first and foremost the setting. The Overlook Hotel is my absolute favorite part of the movie. Secondly, Jack Nicholson's performance, I think, is one of the best performances in horror movie history. And then, to take it even further, I think it's one of the best performances in like movies overall. One of the best. I absolutely love it. I think he's phenomenal. He just plays that crazy role so perfectly. And which probably means he's probably a little bit crazy in real life, right? But yeah, Stanley Kubrick, everybody knows the story about how this isn't what Stephen King envisioned. He doesn't really like it. Sorry. Still out coming down from the cold I had a couple days ago. Smoking probably doesn't help much. Um, but yeah, freaking, I don't care. Stephen King is a legend. He's probably the greatest horror writer of all time. But this movie is such a masterpiece that, like, wah. Oh, it's silly to put it down. But I get it. It's your baby and someone else changed it, so that would piss you off. But you gotta recognize how good and well made the damn thing is. But yeah, absolutely love it. I'm not as big of a fan as the sequel as everybody else is. Like, I like it and think it's a good movie. But, like, I see a lot of people just talking about how it's better than The Shining and how it's, like, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And I'm like, maybe I gotta watch this, like, a few more times or something. Because, to me, like, in the beginning of it, it feels like a superhero movie for a little bit. And I'm like, it kind of threw me off. It just felt, I was like, oh, we're gonna do some multiverse stuff. But that's not what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter. I'm talking about 1980 and how fucking awesome this year is. Like, this is just like the beginning of 1980. I could probably do 30 titles at least that I would recommend adding into your collection from this year. I actually have one coming in the mail right now that I just ordered off Vinegar Syndrome. It's Fade to Black. I've watched that on a streaming service, but I didn't own it. I was like, gotta add that one in. But yeah, 1980. A great freaking year in horror. The start of what I believe to be the best decade in horror history. And they're off to a banger of a start here. Classics. So, thanks for joining me. I'm going to keep these episodes shorter now. I'm just going to get right in, talk about the 5 movies, and go through them, because I have so much to cover. I'm only at 1980. I got to go all the way to 2023, so I'm going to just knock them off year by year and just keep going. So thank you for joining me for this one, and I will see you for 1981.